brand new episode of your favorite podcast, where if you had a preference for parties, it would definitely be none. My name's Josh, here today with good buddy Adam.
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, wait, just don't say anything. This is the No Curse Minute, brought to you by our good friends at Game Rage Magazine, where we don't curse for 1 minute because we're trying to be, not because we're trying to be better people or anything, but it's because we don't want to get downvoted in the algorithm from YouTube by cursing within the first minute. And I really do hope that that is real, because otherwise we're doing this for nothing.
No, it's real. You get pinged for that word or
saying curses.
So saying those words, it definitely has an effect on the outcome of the video.
Well, hopefully we have avoided that now by not cursing for the first minute and 15 seconds. So anyway, thank God we made it. Today's episode, a continuation of last episode of It's Tariff Time. Now it's Mighty Morphin Tariff Rangers.
Sort of. Who is Exxon?
Exxon. No, they're not even Tariff.
Ron, tell us what the forecast is for the stock market.
Pain. Oh shit. But anyways, yeah, man. So the tariffs, we had a full week of the tariffs and how they went down, and
a full backpedal.
Essentially, yes, a full backpedal. But now also not, okay? Which is I am so confused as to what the fuck is actually happening right now.
I don't think anybody knows what's going on.
I don't think so either. So the beginning of the week, we get we had ended last week with like the hit, then it was like a loss, and then we kind of came back a little bit at the beginning of this week, and then we had another hit, and then kind of came back. It's been very volatile because we say, hey, fuck you, China. You're getting 80 or 125% tariffs. And then China says, hey, fuck you, America. You're getting 85% tariffs. And then we said, oh, yeah, China, well, fuck you double. We're giving you 145% tariffs on shit that comes out of your country into ours. And then China literally laughed and said, all right, we're only going to do 125% because anything other than that
is absurd.
Is literally a joke. And I was like, God damn it. So then Trump literally says at this dinner that he was at, oh, they're all coming and kissing my ass saying, oh, we want a deal. And then he says, all right, we're going to back off on all the tariffs that we did that whole fucking chart for, which is now meaningless because now, okay, everyone's getting across the board 10% until we quote unquote negotiate. And then China is maintaining 145% tariffs on everything. But now, a couple days ago, they put in an exemption for iPhones. On Friday, they announced for electronics. So they said electronics, like TVs, chips, phones.
Wait, so you're telling me that, because this is the only part that I think anybody really cares about, is I can get my Nintendo Switch for $450.
Well, no, it's still going to be more because the Nintendo Switch ain't made in China. It comes from Japan.
Yes, so, but you just said right now that there was exemptions for electronics.
For China, for only for China.
Fuck my life,
and the
dude.
the exemptions not, oh, it's all the way across the board. No, it's subject still. Everything is okay. Those things are still subject to the 20% tariff for fentanyl. Okay, so everything from China is still going to be at least 20%, in addition to the baseline 10%, so 30%, and then they're talking about adding an additional tariff, which is going to be a homeland security tariff because of the chips or something. Who knows what the fuck that's going to be? But on those specific items, it's not 145% coming out of China, okay? But they announced that on Friday, and then today, on Sunday, Trump comes out and says, I never said that. Nobody ever said we were canceling the tariffs on China. So, and he's like, oh, the fake news is fake, and this nobody ever said this. So now I don't even know what the fuck is happening here. Are there going to be more tariffs? Or who the fuck knows what actually is going to happen? So my thoughts are, and what's to me the most interesting thing that came out of this was the tanking of the stock market essentially caused our U.S. Treasury bonds to go up. The short-term Treasury bonds, which is like your 2, 3, 5, and 10-year bonds, right?
It's not a good thing, right?
No,
they're
because
supposed to be more stable and like incremental in growth, right?
Yeah, because those things are directly tied to like our interest rates that we have here on like housing and like shit like that, right? And because they're supposed to be stable. Well, there's a certain point that I didn't actually know this until I recently read a thing about this, but there's a certain point in a lot of these hedge funds that a lot of them are kind of like backed by treasury bonds. And so when all of their stock shit starts going down, if they're getting close to the point of a margin call, those bonds that they have to sell them. Like they have to sell them to create like liquidity or whatever, because their margins got called, so they gotta pay the difference essentially of what they lost in the stock to whoever they like bought it from or whatever. So they gotta like pay the difference. So as the stock market was tanking, the treasury yields were going up, and it was because it was causing everybody to like have to sell a lot of their treasury bonds to like cover the losses of these stocks and whatnot. Well, Japan is the number one holder of US debt. They hold like a billion fucking dollars of our shit, right? Or several billion. I don't know what the exact number is, but it's a lot. They're the number one owner of our debt in the world. Well, they own it. Their debt is through treasury bonds, right? So they basically started having to sell off fucking treasury bonds. China started selling off treasury bonds. And so that's the one thing that is very strange about this whole situation is, yeah, China could start fucking us by just selling off our treasury bonds, because that'll cause the rate to go up. And the rate going up is essentially, that's the rate that it costs the US government on these yields when they come, or on these bonds when they come due. So like a 10-year bond, if you're buying it at 4%, that means if you bought $1,000 worth of treasury bonds and it's due in 10 years and you bought them at 4%, then you're going to get fucking $40 or whatever, right? That's like what the US government pays at 4% on $1,000. So as it goes up, the US government, that they have to pay you back that money, right? And it's at that percentage rate of whatever it is. So that's why people buy bonds low, because then they're hoping that the rate will go up slightly. So then what they do is they leverage it and they say, all right, if it goes up 0.16%, we're going to sell it to this guy for what we paid for it plus 0.05%. So they're incrementally making 0.05% and leveraging it. And then that guy's selling it at a 0.05%. And eventually in 10 years, they're hoping it's going to be higher. That's like the whole point of them doing these weird things. It's kind of like weird credit default swaps, but it's with treasury bonds.
It's weird gamba.
It is. It's super gambling. Like it's fucking gambling with economies and like on a global scale.
That's kind of a weird way to fuck with people's lives, dude.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, when it comes to the government level, it's like, man, when shit like that happens, disaster. And that's kind of what it seems, especially when it seems that the government doesn't even know what the fuck it's doing itself right now. Because, again, like I said, you got Trump saying one thing, you got his people putting out other things, and it's like, it almost doesn't know what the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. So can I ask a question about the treasury bonds?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talking about the percentage going up to let's say it's 25% and you paid, $10,000 worth of treasury bonds, right?
Yeah.
So you're expected to get 25% additional. You get your money back plus 25%, right?
Right.
And that's something you can't expect the government to pay back at those percentage rates. Like something ridiculous. It's like, if everybody starts doing that, it's like, shit, nobody's going to get their fucking money back.
Well, yeah, if they start selling,
then
when those come due, the government will have to pay. And it's also, it ties directly into what new treasury bonds are selling at. So like if it pumps the rate to like 10 or 15%, which that was like 1980s levels was like 15, 16%. I think 18% was like the highest it's been.
Yeah.
That's how much it costs the government to borrow the money, like, because that's what you're doing. You're basically, you're giving them a loan for 18% interest or whatever the interest rate is. That's what you're giving them for over 10 years. And so they're paying you that back at the end, because when your bond matures,
you go to Uncle Sam and go,
Hey,
give me my money, motherfucker. And then they got to give you your money.
sorry, we're defaulting.
Well, in the case of that, then no, you just don't get shit. And now you had this worthless piece of paper that's probably been sold 4, 5, or 6 times before you got it. And everybody else made their money, but now you're left holding the bag because you ain't going to get shit back when it comes due, right? So that is the inherent risk with all this. And it's very interesting to see what's going to happen, at least in the coming weeks. Obviously, the volatility is ridiculous. I will also say it's really starting to piss me off that the price of oil is super fucking low. It fell below $60 a barrel, which those were like pre 9/11 numbers, all right? And like gas should go down to like $3 a fucking gallon.
It's $4.50.
It's fucking almost $5 in some spots. And fuck those oil companies, all right? They're all exempted from the tariffs, but yet gas prices keep going up, even though oil keeps falling. So they're just taking advantage, I feel like. But it is what it is. And where it's going to go, man, I have no fucking idea how this is going to shake out. Because and anyone else who does, it's very funny. Like, dude, Jim Cramer, again, being wrong as fuck. He literally said Monday was going to be Black Monday, and it was going to be fucking horrific. And the stock market ended in a positive territory, which was funny as shit.
Bye.
Yeah, so I just thought that was funny. But
That dude's funny.
he is. He's hilarious.
I would never take financial advice from him, but his program's fucking entertaining.
It is. It's highly entertaining. It's like the pro wrestling of stocks. Like it's very fucking entertaining as shit. So I can't say where it's gonna go. My personal belief is don't fucking have shit in the stock market right now. And what sucks is most of us, if you've got a 401k, and a lot of people sit here and talk, I don't got nothing in the stock market. Listen, bitch, if you got a 401k, some kind of pension plan or some kind of like retirement plan, you're invested in the stock market. You just don't get to control what they invest in. Okay?
That's what's fucked.
That's what's fucked. And if they're taking risks and you could end up with nothing because you have to you're going to be responsible for paying that at the end of it. Well, not like you're going to owe money, but they're just going to wipe you out essentially. So,
or your fucking portfolio is going to be worth like 90% less than what you
put in.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks is because all that money you've put in over the years is just disappears. And now when you go to retire, instead of getting your, $3,500 a month, you're getting like $26. Like, you're getting jack shit. And it's crazy. And I would just say, if you have a choice, pull that shit out. Or if your investment thing lets you take, because some of them will let you do options of saying, okay, I want to invest in low risk stuff or no risk stuff, which is basically like, they put it in, gold or like, I don't know,
silver.
Yeah, they put it in like shit like that. That's like very low risk. You might be able to get away with not getting hurt as bad, but
at least preserving the value that you had.
Yeah.
Of money.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're still not getting what you're fucking, what you should be getting though. So it's going to be a wild fucking ride. And again, as we've said before, we're only 3 months in to this fucking deal, almost just about. And look at the amount of crazy shit that's happened over the last 3 months that Donald Trump has been president again. And it's shaken out to be a very long fucking 4 years.
I feel like we've already lived 3 lifetimes in each month.
Yeah, I think we have. Each month is the equivalent to 1 year. But anyways, this tariff situation is fucking stupid as hell. And going balls deep and then backing off and then being like, well, I'm not back. This is literally 1984 doublespeak happening right now as we speak. Do not believe your eyes, for they deceive you. Like, and the words that we say, oh, you're just hearing it wrong. Like, okay, whatever you say.
2 + 2 is 5.
Yeah, basically. So, I mean, shit. Good luck to everybody that's out there, because we're fucked. All right, that's it. Anyways, you got anything else? All right, well, that'll do it. We'll catch you guys on the next one, if we're not dead.